Welcome into the Commanders Report. I am your host, Jack Sperry. On today's show, I'm going to be breaking down 5 Commanders position battles to keep your eye on during the offseason program. Of course, we're going through OTAs. Mandatory minicamp is this week. We got training camp right around the corner. And there's some position battles that you need to be keeping your eye on. Going to be breaking those 5 down here for you in just a second. But first, make sure you click that subscribe button for 24/7 Commanders coverage here on YouTube, 100% free. We try to get you guys a video just about every day covering the latest on the Washington Commanders, all the way leading up to week 1 of the 2023 NFL season, where we're going to be covering all 17 games of the Commanders schedule. So make sure you click that subscribe button and turn on your notifications as well so you never miss any of our free content. So the first position battle, and definitely the spiciest heading into the rest of the offseason program here, is the quarterback position, because Ron Rivera confirmed this week that second-year quarterback Sam Howell and Jacoby Brissett, the solid veteran that they brought in free agency, they're going to be in the running to be the starting quarterback of this team heading into the 2023 season. Many people expect both these guys to get at least a couple of starts this season, but my expectation is that Sam Howell is going to get that first crack. That's what Ron Rivera has said time and time again. Sam is going to have every opportunity to win this job and keep it as the season goes on, but it needs to be earned. Jacoby Brissett is in this room. He is a solid starter. He played pretty darn well with the Cleveland Browns last year, so if Sam wants to keep this position, he's going to have to earn. He's going to have to earn every single thing that he gets in this offense with new offensive coordinator Eric Bienemy, because right behind him is Jacoby Brissett, and you can make a very solid argument that he should be the starter of this football team, right? Sam Howell's an unproven 5th-round, second-year quarterback that only played in 1 game. Right, Jacoby Brissett is a seasoned veteran that's played a ton. And if you trust the sabermetrics, the advanced sabermetrics, they tell you that Jacoby Brissett is not only a serviceable quarterback, but he's actually pretty darn good. You got defensive adjusted yards over replacement here, which is something that NFL teams look at a lot when evaluating quarterbacks. He was a plus 600, which was 13th in the National Football League. Then value over average was a 10.8%, which was 9th in the National Football League. Top 10 QBR, so a stat that a lot of people like to use to determine the value of quarterbacks, especially in NFL front offices. He had a 59.7, which was good for 8th in the National Football League. And then one of my favorite analytics, wins above replacement per game started. Last year, he had a 0.133 ranking, and that was 14th in the National Football League. So he can play in this league, man. This guy is a good starting quarterback, in my opinion, with the really good defense that the Commanders should have this year, a hopefully improved offensive line and run game, and then a new guy in there in the OC chair in Eric Bienemy. This should be a pretty darn good offense no matter who is quarterbacking the Commanders. So let me know, who is the better quarterback going into the 2023 season? Do you think it's the young kid, Sam Howell? Type SH if you think it's him, or if you think it's the seasoned veteran, Jacoby Brissett. Type JB down there in the comment section. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So whenever you get an ad break here, do me a favor, take advantage of that time by putting an SH or a JB down there in the comments. So my answer to this one is I think it could go either way. If I'd have to pick one right now, I would pick Jacoby Brissett, because I'm not at practice. I don't exactly know everything that's going on with Sam Howell's development. I think Sam has some really nice upside. He's got a stronger arm. He's younger. He played pretty darn well against the Cowboys to finish out the season last year. I think he should get every chance possible to be the starting quarterback this year. But it's nice to know that you have Jacoby Brissett waiting in the wings to try to get this team to the postseason if Howell doesn't work out. Then the second position battle that I think you should be keeping your eye on here is the tight end position, because plain and simply, there's just not a whole lot of dynamic talent in this room right now. Logan Thomas is fine, but he's definitely not the dynamic receiving threat that offensive coordinator Eric Bienemy is used to. He had Travis Kelce to deal with in Kansas City for all those years. And Cole Turner is somebody that intrigues me. He's a pretty good athlete, but there's definitely nobody that is established in this room right now, which is why I would think that the Commanders could be looking into maybe even trading for a tight end. And if I were a GM Martin Mayhew, I would absolutely go out and give the Cardinals a call and see what the availability is on a veteran tight end, Zach Ertz. I think he's an awesome awesome receiving threat still now at age 32. I still think he gets open at a really high clip. He's a great red zone threat, and I think he could be a really nice weapon for whoever's quarterbacking this team and for offensive coordinator Eric Bienemy. And I don't think he's going to be that expensive either. I think you can probably get him for a 7th or 6th round pick. Hopefully, the Commanders could probably get him for a 7th. The Cardinals are definitely looking for as much draft capital as possible. Let's break down one by one why each team might want to make this trade. Number one, the Washington Commanders. Why would they want Zach Ertz? In my opinion, he's still a top 10 receiving threat at the position. He's never really been a great blocker, but he can get open. He's got great hands. He's great in the red zone. That's what the Commanders need right now because I don't really trust Logan Thomas at this point in time. Then Eric Bienemy gets his true receiving threat in his offense. You know, he's no Travis Kelce. That's not what I'm trying to say here. But getting a receiving threat that gets open, it really does open up the playbook, and he can bring some of those plays that he had in Kansas City here to the nation's capital. And then also trading for Ertz shouldn't be too expensive. It's not like you have to give up like a day 2 pick or even a day 1 pick. Good Lord, to go and get a guy like this. You can probably give up a 7th round pick. You get Ertz for a couple of years. Well, maybe, you get your future tight end next year in the draft. It gives you options, and it's not going to cost you too much. Now, why would Arizona want to do it? So Ertz wants to win at this point in his career. Like I said, he's 32 years of age. This is the point in time where he wants to win a ring, and the Cardinals are just not built for that right now. They're rebuilding under new head coach Jonathan Gannon. Kyler Murray's probably not going to be playing this year. A guy of his age and with his career goals, he doesn't really fit with what the Arizona Cardinals are doing right now. And do the Cardinals really want an older tight end like Zach Ertz on their roster eating up their cap space? I'm not too sure about that. I think they might take an additional 7th round pick to get him off their books. So I'm going to be giving you a couple more positional battles to be watching out for this offseason. But first, man, we got this great t-shirt combo on the Chat Sports website right now. If you want some more burgundy and gold in your closet, go to chatsports.com/Commanders combo. I really like that white design on the long sleeve t-shirt there, but I also really like the burgundy short sleeve there for summer. So if you want a couple more shirts at your disposal here for the start of the 2023 season, we have them on sale right now for about $30 for the pair of them, not just each. For the pair, $30. I think that's a great deal. Go ahead, take advantage of that right now by going to chatsports.com/Commanders combo. Now, speaking of combos here, I got a little bit of a combo positional battle here to talk about, and that's the center/left guard positions, because there's a couple of players that could be in the mix here. 4 of them in precise here. I think Nick Gates could play either left guard or center because he did that with the New York Giants. He could play either one. Right now, he's getting reps at center. Then you got the 3rd-round rookie, Ricky Stromberg, who's seen as more of just a true center, might be able to play at some point this year. And then Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul, according to Ron Rivera, are the first 2 on the depth chart for that position. Personally, I don't really trust them whatsoever. I don't think they should be starters in the action that they have had in the National Football League. They haven't proven a lick. I think that, personally, I would probably rather go with Nick Gates at left guard, and then I'd roll with the rookie Stromberg at center. Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul, I just don't think is the answer here. And I would maybe even sign another interior offensive lineman in free agency. There's a couple of pretty nice players still available. Namely Dalton Reisner, somebody that's a really good pass protector, and he has been his entire career. Maybe not the best run blocker, which is probably why he's not signed yet. But, you want to protect Sam Howell or whoever's going to be quarterbacking your team next year. Dalton Reisner does that at a high level. He's probably the best guard still available on the free agency market. And then if you want a center, right, if you want to move like Nick Gates over to left guard or something like that, Ben Jones is still a very, very good center that's available, and he's played guard as well. You can move him over to left guard if you really want. Somebody that's been a really solid starter in this league for a long, long time, and somebody that I'm quite frankly, I'm surprised he's still available. He's a very solid starting caliber center. And if the Commanders want to add another interior offensive lineman, he's definitely a good option. Now, if I had to choose between the options that are available to the Commanders right now, I would go with Nick Gates at left guard, and I would start the rookie Ricky Stromberg at center. You drafted a center on day 2 for a reason, because you think he can play. Now, I'm not at practice. I don't know his readiness for the NFL just yet, so obviously I don't have all those variables figured out. But just given what I know I don't trust Sadiq Charles and Chris Paul. I trust Nick Gates maybe just enough to put him at left guard, but Ricky Stromberg, man, if you're drafting a center in round 3. He better be ready to go, and if he's not, then you definitely shouldn't have drafted him where you did. So let me know down in the comment section, which O-lineman would you like to see Washington sign here over the next couple weeks leading up to training camp? Would you like Dalton Reisner? Would you like Ben Jones? Is there another name that you really like? Let me know down there in the comments. All right, so now next up, inside linebacker. Now this one's kind of like a lower level kind of positional battle. It's kind of more, I think all these guys are going to play, but it's just a matter of how much they get to play, who's going to be a third linebacker in a rotation. You got Jamin Davis, and you add Cody Barton in NFL free agency, but apparently Khaleke Hudson, a younger player, is doing really well in OTAs, and he's competing with Cody for that second inside linebacker spot, and I really do think that Khaleke Hudson has the athletic ability to be a starter in this league. The big question with him was always, can he develop into a true pro in the National Football League? It seems like he's starting to take those steps. Now, I think at times the Commanders will run 3 linebacker packages, particularly at the goal line. All 3 of these guys will get playing time. It's just a matter of who's going to be playing in their nickel sets, who's going to be playing in their base sets, because they usually only play with 2 inside linebackers. So I still think Davis and Barton get the start week 1, but if one of those guys gets injured or, if an opportunity opens up for Hudson, I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever if he takes advantage of that and he becomes a full-time starter for the Washington Commanders moving forward. And finally here, another one that's kind of a low-level position battle, the running back position, because there's some question marks here of what Ron Rivera plans to do in terms of the playing time here. Are you going to roll with Brian Robinson as a bell cow, get most of the production, or are you going to run a committee here? Because you do have Antonio Gibson, who's a very versatile back, and then Chris Rodriguez Jr., another big, fast back that you got in the 6th round this year. Quite a steal, if you ask me. Eric Bienemy loves him, so you could absolutely run a committee if you want here, if you're Eric Bienemy. Now, the question is, will they? Now, if I were them, I absolutely would. You want to keep those legs fresh, especially as the season wears on. First couple games, it should be fine. Brian Robinson is an awesome running back, but over the course of the season, I think it's going to be best for the team to kind of rotate these guys in, give Gibson some reps, give Chris Rodriguez Jr. some reps, and then you can give Brian Robinson a majority of the snaps there, but overall I think you should definitely try to keep him fresh for a potential playoff push at the end of the season. All right, so a little bit of a recap here. Again, all the positions that I think that you should be keeping your eye on when it comes to some battles. Quarterback is a big one, tight end, center/left guard, inside linebacker, and of course, running back. Thank you guys for tuning in today, guys. My name is Jack Sperry. You've been watching the Commanders Report, and let me tell you guys, if you made it to the end of the video, that means we must be doing something right, okay? So if you want to join our family here at the Commanders Report, click that subscribe button, turn on your notifications as well so you never miss any of our great content.